They don't really care about you. They care about sales and care about profits. They don't care about you. So why are you so loyal to them? All right. How's it, guys? Just want to do a quick video around brand loyalty. Okay. So the question I have is, why don't you want to buy a Chinese vehicle? Okay. And I think that's what people need to ask themselves and evaluate that, and substantiate their reasons why they don't. So there are a number of things. Brand loyalty. Okay, so you've been with a trusted brand for a long time, you're familiar with it, and you want to stick with it. But then new players come into the market, particularly the Chinese, and they start delivering, well, what looks like, on the face of it, very good products. Okay, so then you're like, nah, I'm not going to go with that Chinese crap. You know, whatever the stigma is around Chinese products, which is quite strange, because if you look in your house, just about everything is made in China. Your Apple iPhones are made in China. Most of your appliance, except for like Samsung and those things, Hisense comes from China, which is a very good household brand in terms of washing machines and things. So I don't think you can say Chinese crap anymore, let's be honest. But now bring into the cars. Okay, so cars, the Chinese have been making motor vehicles for a while, but admittedly 10 years ago they were absolute crap. But I think the story's changed now completely. I don't think you can say anymore that the vast majority of Chinese brands are crap anymore. They've learned very, very fast, and they've learned because they've been manufacturing the German cars and the German cars and the Japanese cars, and they've been stealing, but they've been learning from all the manufacturing processes, and they've been understanding what is good and what is bad. And so what they've done is they've really come to the market with, I'd say, proven technologies in terms of they're selecting the best products for their vehicles, and doing some in-house development. Now they're not perfect. They still have things to learn, particularly around the drive and drive calibration. I don't really feel there's a big problem, but you know, small little tweaks in terms of accelerator feel and how the car accelerates and those type of things. I think people do complain about those things, but those things can be fixed with a little throttle controller pedal device, which just, you know, sharpens up the throttle, and then, you know, that problem goes away. So but overall, we're looking at, why do you not like the Chinese cars? Don't you like the look of them? Do you scorn them because they've copied the best of the Germans? So let's say I'm driving a Tank 300 and you say, oh, but it looks like a G-Wagon, or it looks like a Wrangler, or it's a hybrid between the two of them. What's your point? Does that make it a bad car? No, it still looks great. Does the G-Wagon look great? Yes. Does the Wrangler look great? Yes. So if you put them together, you know, it makes a beautiful child. So why would you make that a talking point to say, well, they've copied? It makes no difference. If it looks good and has the best features from the known brands, then I don't see it, there's a problem. So that's one thing, right? Let's put that aside in terms of, does it look like another one? Have they copied something from another brand? Let's put that aside. It makes no difference. If it looks good, it looks good. Then move on to reliability. Okay, we'll get to resale value just now, because I think that is a very big point. But reliability. Are the Chinese vehicles of late, let's say since the last 4 years, specifically in the South African market, are they reliable? So you've got the P Series Bakkie that was launched here, I think around 2020, 2021, and I know a few guys in the 4x4 community that drive P Series, and they absolutely thrash those things. They have no mercy on those vehicles, and they don't break. For the most part, they do not break. They don't have engine failures, they do not have gearbox failures, they don't have diff, driveline failures. They just don't have failures. And on top of that, I have it on good authority that someone in, not the Chinese but on the Japanese side, one of the dealer principals, spoke to me when I went on a launch day, and I brought the tank along, and he came to me and he said, you can't fault the tank at all. You can't fault the vehicle. You can't fault the GWM brand, let's say, because he has a friend. These are the anecdotal stories, but I'm inclined to believe him. Why would he come to me with that? He works for a different brand, and he's coming to me admitting that the opposition that's potentially threatening his brand is better. Why would he say that? What would be in it for him? So he says that his friend, a mechanic that works at GWM, has not had one in his workshop, in that branch, has not had one P-Series bucky coming from mechanical failure. Not one. I mean, that speaks volumes, right? I mean, no recalls, no major engine failures, gearbox failures, nothing. So now you look at it and you say, well, okay, so they're reliable. They've proven insofar as some of the vehicles have had 150,000 kilometers on so far and no failures. Okay, so maybe they're reliable, maybe they're well built. Do they offer all the features you want? Well, yes, they actually offer way more features than the competition for less money. Are their engines as powerful? No, I think the P-Series comes out with 120 kilowatts and I think close to 400 Newton meters. Not class leading in any way. But people don't seem to complain about that. The vehicle still pulls well. I see guys, they pull big trailers. I saw a guy pulling a Mobilodge with his P-Series. Yeah, it's not going to light the tracks on fire. It's not going to go 120 up a hill, but it works. Let's move to the GWM tank. So far, they've been out since 2020 as well, and I've gone all over the interwebs and I've looked, and from what I can tell, especially because they've been out in the Chinese market since 2020, there have been no reports. Now, it's obviously difficult getting information out of the Chinese market, but they do have access to YouTube and they do post YouTube videos, and there's been no reports. And I've used ChatGPT and all these different ways in order to scour websites and platforms, and there are no reports of any sort of mechanical failure with the GWM Tank 300 specifically. And if you just look at the Chinese market, if you look at YouTube, the guys going 4x4ing there, the Chinese have no fear and they also have no feelings for the vehicles. They're absolutely savage when they drive those things. They just go balls to the wall the whole way, and those things just seem super strong, right? Those things bouncing all over the place, and they've modified those things, bigger tires, all the aftermarket accessories. It really looks good. Some of them don't have all the aftermarket accessories. No failures. So let's talk about the Tank 300 specifically. The engine has won Engine Design Award in China. Yes, you could say, but in China, and they're one of the world's biggest manufacturers of cars as well. And they've won, the engine's won one of their prestigious awards. The engine has, and I'll bring up some information about it, but the engine has been tested, thoroughly tested to be reliable up to 250,000 plus kilometers. That's the benchmark they set, 250,000 plus kilometers on the 2-liter turbo engine that they've put into these tanks. They use a ZF 8-speed transmission, so they don't make their own transmission in this particular case. I think for the P-Series as well, and I'm not sure about the Havals, but in these 4x4s they're using one of the best gearbox manufacturers in the world, and also they use very known transfer case manufacturers. I think Paul Warner and those guys. So, but I know in this tank it's got an 8-speed ZF gearbox, which they're using BMWs and they're using many other cars, Jaguars and so on. So very reliable gearbox, very smooth. I'm driving one right now. It is absolutely beautiful. 8-speed, changes well, go off-road. It's just a great gearbox. The one thing that you could say about the Chinese brands is that their engines are not too fuel efficient. They're not that fuel efficient. But I kind of look at it this way. They went for, look, the engines do put out high power. They're they're not that sluggish. It's a 2 litre, 162 kilowatts, 380 newton of torque. I mean, that's pretty good for a 2 litre. I mean, I think the Golf 6 or whatever, the 7 was around about the same power. You know, so the engine is high output, but it's in a bigger body. So the engine is not, I mean, it's not pushing out 110 kilowatts, you know, 120. It's decent. And I think in the HEV, the same engine pushes out 180 kilowatts. So it's just got a different tune on it. So very, very capable engine. But what I think what they did is they went for trying to build the engine as reliable and tough as possible. And so in that way, they haven't made it, it's not high strung. And therefore perhaps it's not as fuel efficient as other brands. Maybe. I mean, this is a 2 litre in a big body. Fuel consumption is a bit heavy, pulling around a 2.3 ton vehicle. So yeah, it maybe, you know, that's my take on it. They built it for longevity, kind of like Toyota was doing in the past. You know, Toyota traditionally doesn't always bring out the highest capacity, highest output engines, but people don't mind because they last. They go on for a long time. You know, I think the 2.8 the Toyota 2.8 diesel engine that comes in the Hilux and the Fortuner, for a long time they were not as powerful as the Fords and the other brands. They've kind of upped it now, just to remain competitive in the market, but traditionally they've always been less or slightly underpowered compared to the rivals, but people don't mind because we know that those engines are reliable. So that's my take on the fuel consumption. In terms of fit and finish, look at my other videos. I go through the entire interior of this vehicle. I promise you cannot fault the interior of this vehicle. You cannot fault it. It's strong. There's no creaks. The materials are all soft touch. Everything works perfectly well. There's nothing you could say. In fact, it actually feels very premium and very luxurious in this vehicle. It's got good components. It's got Harman Kardon Infinity audio system in this particular model, the Ultra model. So they do take premium products from other manufacturers where needed to put into their vehicle. So they don't cheap out on everything. So I think on this vehicle, the body, chassis, driveline, except for the gearbox, is all their own brand, all made in-house. So the engine, I think the gearbox, the diffs, the axles, all of those things, suspension components, that's all made in-house. And they do, let's call it imitate or take from the best, and it's very similar to the Prado configuration in terms of suspension geometry. So again, class leading in that regard. In terms of safety features, all the safety features you can imagine, and in the South African market particularly, you can turn off the lane keep assist and the emergency lane keep assist, but it's got the I think it's ADAS, Advanced Driver Safety Systems or something like that. So it's got the radar follow, like the traffic follow and the cruise control thing is. Yeah, it's got all the safety features where if someone is driving behind you and you're reversing, it's going to warn you, and it's got all of the safety features. What's really nice about this tank brand, or Havals GWM, is that every light on the vehicle is an LED. There's no incandescent or filament or bulb in sight on this vehicle, which I look at some other brands, a lot of the other brands, and they still putting halogen or halogen light bulbs or incandescent light bulbs in the interior for the interior lighting. And I'm like, why? I mean, how much more expensive is an LED? It uses a lot less electricity and it lasts a lot longer. So I don't understand why the manufacturers are still not using LED light bulbs. This is crazy. This tank, or the tanks, come out with full LED lights on the outside of the vehicle. So the headlights, brights, the spots, everything is LED. So if you compare this vehicle to, let's say, the Prado, which is probably kind of a fair competitor in terms of size vehicle. I think the Prado starts at about 1.2 million plus, 1.2 million, and that's for the lower spec, and the high spec, the VX model, that starts at or that goes for about 1.4 million. Oh, so I'm just parking the car. So that's double the price of the tank. And the tank Ultra HEV, the top spec, that's the 2-liter turbo petrol hybrid, 255 kilowatts, 648 millimeters of torque. The Ultra model, which has got the heated seats, cooled seats, front locking differential, center rear locking differential, every single bell and whistle you can imagine is on the Ultra, and that goes for 860,000. That's still almost half of what a Prado goes for. And then again, I'll go back to the same question: is why are you going with the Prado? Just to reiterate, you got to look at the vehicles. You got to look at what you're getting, and you have. I believe you shouldn't just turn a blind eye to something just because you've always done the same thing. If you're really truly looking for a good vehicle that's not going to break the bank unnecessarily, go look at the Chinese brands, go look at the Chinese vehicles. There's a reason why they are taking over the South African market. They are really a real threat to a lot of the other mainstream manufacturers, is that they're selling in volume, and they're growing, they're moving up the ranks very quickly. And that is because they are offering good products, not perfect, but no brand is perfect. They're offering good products at very competitive prices and adding a lot of value, and they are very well designed, very well styled. Just go look at the latest, the Havals, the Jolion, the H6. They're offering sporty GT versions. They're offering everything for everyone. And if you just look inside, the materials are great, very well appointed. Maybe they don't drive as well as a Tiguan, a Volkswagen Tiguan, maybe. But the Tiguan starts at, what those things go as at the full spec. I think a Tiguan starts at whatever, 600,000 up, and then you start adding on different features, it easily gets to 800,000. Whereas you can get an all-in Haval for, 500,000. So, I just think that brand loyalty, and another thing you have to ask yourself about brand loyalty is, what do you owe the brand? Why do they deserve your loyalty? What have they done for you? They're a massive multi-billion dollar corporation. They don't really care about you. They care about sales and care about profits. They don't care about you. So why are you so loyal to them? If they start to not offering you the value that you want, if they start not offering you the products that you want, or at least at the prices that is affordable, and they're keeping the prices up, then they're in it for themselves. So why are you loyal to them? You should be loyal to yourself first before you're loyal to others. So so that's all I was going to say about brand loyalty. Is just go and have a look. Go and have a look at the Chinese vehicles. Go and have a look at the Tank 300 if that's the kind of vehicle you're looking for. Go have a look at the Tank 500. I think there's a Tank 700 coming in, which is probably going to be competing with the Land Cruiser 300. And if you go and look in America at the moment, Toyota's not doing that well. They're sure the 300 series has taken off, as a lot of sales. But the problem is that they're having to recall the V6 engines in those vehicles, and to replace them completely. So you're driving around in your 300 series Land Cruiser, feeling very good about yourself, and then you're going to get an email in your inbox and saying, please, can you bring your vehicle in? We need to replace the engine. That's inconvenience. That means that they're going to be fiddling with your car. Are you really going to feel that brand loyal? Yes, it's good that they're replacing the engine. It's fantastic. But you didn't buy the car so that it can go into the workshop for 2-3 weeks to have an engine replaced so that you can get it back fiddled with. That's not what you didn't buy. You didn't buy the vehicle for that purpose. So, I'm not bashing any brands. All I'm trying to say is open your eyes, open your ears, and open your wallet a little bit, because the Chinese cars are a lot cheaper. Alright, that's it for this video. Like, subscribe, leave me some comments if you disagree with me. Am I biased in my opinion? Maybe a little bit. I mean, I'm driving a Tank, but I can speak from authority. I actually own one. I've had it for almost 3,000 kilometers now, not a long time. But so far, and I've been off-road, on-road, I've been towing with it. And so far, I can't fault it. Overall, I cannot fault it. I'm actually falling more and more in love with the vehicle. and what it can do and how it makes me feel, and just the drive, everything about it is just, I wouldn't say it's growing on me, but it actually, I'm starting to appreciate it a lot more. So yeah, like, subscribe, tune in for more videos, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.